Would Hugh Freeze consider giving up play calling and becoming more of a CEO?
In the world full of podcasts, he's the undisputed heavyweight champion of hot takes, an Auburn sports homer, master of the boog, and message board legend. Get your buttons buttoned and your hats flattened because the Top Button Podcast is about to kick off. And you don't want to miss your courtside seat. Now, here's your host, Charlie Five.
Yes, sir. We're back. It's another episode of the Top Button Podcast. I'm your host, Kyle Rush, a.k.a. Charlie Five, and we're ready to get after it. Happy Friday. We're one sleep away, and you got to wake up early for Auburn versus Arkansas. So I got my man Hunter Bussey, and we are ready to break this thing down. Can Hugh Freeze, or would Hugh Freeze consider giving up play calling maybe after this season or whatever, and taking on a more of a CEO role like he tried to do when he was first hired? He has some interesting comments about that. Does Auburn have an Auburn problem? And we're going to talk about that. We got a clip for that as well. And then we're going to talk about the Arkansas game and how we think this thing's going to play out. But before we do that, you see my man Hunter's got his Rowback hoodie on, ready to roll. Definitely need to check out rowback.com. Use coupon code BARN20 to take 20% off your order. Hunter, you hit that coupon code, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. I had
for
to.
Sure. Yeah, save big. They got the Auburn licensed apparel, just like you see in the video here, and you've seen me wear it. Great stuff. The hoodies are fantastic. They're my favorites. I think they're everybody's favorite anyway. But
they're so comfortable.
They got a lot of other stuff too. So show them some love. It's rowback.com. Hunter, I think one of the big conversations that everybody's having right now you see coaches like Eli Drinkwitz, who used to be a primary play caller as a head coach, give play calling up. Kenny Dillingham, give play calling up. And then you see like the hype this week. Like I've never seen people talk about it as much as they have in one period of time as they have this week, as far as there's only been 4 head coaches in the past 40 years that have won a national title that was their team's primary play caller, either on offense or defense. And you just start to wonder if the game has become too big to do both with all the different directions you're pulled in. And Hugh was asked that point blank yesterday, was asked his point blank, and this was his answer.
More of an after-the-season question, but your offense is something you would consider maybe going back and getting a coordinator or turning it over to somebody else? So do you think there are advantages to being a CEO coach?
Yeah, I think everything's, up to evaluate for sure. When I look at the schematics of what we're doing, they're good stuff. And it's just getting the details right as coaches better and demanding that they're done, properly in everything that we carry or don't carry it if it's not going to be done properly. And then obviously it's on the kids to execute it too at a high level. So, I don't see that the schematics, you look at like the first halves, gosh, those are some good numbers you're putting up. But hadn't been consistent enough. And so I think you have to evaluate all of that at the end of the season.
Hunter, give me your first thoughts on that. If you didn't hear the open of the question, hey, it's in season, so this is probably not a good time to ask this question, but after the season, would giving up the play calling and becoming a CEO, is that on the table? And then you heard Hugh's answer.
Yeah. I just the part where the red flags go up for me in that whole answer of his was when you look at the schematics, what we're doing is good stuff. Yeah, for the first 2-3 drives, maybe first half, yeah, but you can't finish out game. It's like the first half script is like great, and then it's there's a second half script, type of situation. That's what it feels like to me. I think Hugh would benefit greatly, especially right now, considering that everyone was wanting his head on a silver platter last weekend.
Yeah.
To hand it off to Derek Nix, but we're not behind the scenes. We'll know what's going on, but I think he would benefit greatly if he would just stick to his CEO role because he can recruit. That's the one thing he still has. I've said it all year since at least the Oklahoma game. I think he's lost his fastball as far as offense goes and being the quarterback whisperer that we heard he was, with having, Ole Miss, and then he had Malik, who was at Auburn at one point at Liberty. It's just I feel like if he sticks to the CEO role, sticks to recruiting, I think he'll be fine. I'm okay with that personally. I wouldn't mind if there was a situation where we were to hire, say, a more high caliber offensive coordinator and keep DJ around, and I think we'll be set. I'm just worried that it's going to be the same thing week in, week in out. The whole we're so close. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
if I hear that again, if I hear the word close again, I'm gonna be face down in Lake Martin.
Yeah.
I'm tired of hearing that.
No, I
That's
totally
so
get it.
bad.
I totally get it. And I don't know that I 100% disagree
Mhm.
with a ton that he said. Like, I do think there's a lot of truth there, that there's plays there to be made. The second half of the Georgia game, I mean, there was, I know we say that it was really bad, but there was like 4 passes that
Mhm.
you had plays wide open that Jackson just simply couldn't get it to him.
Yeah.
But this is the problem, and this is the problem that I had with Gus Malzahn, and towards the end of his tenure, it kept being that essentially the plays are fine, we're just not executing them. And
Yeah.
Hugh even mentioned we have to coach the details better. The details are what's killing you. Okay, so
Mhm.
if this setup is hindering you from being able to fine tune those details, like, why would that not be something that you entertain? Look, Rhett Lashley, it may be too little too late, but Rhett Lashley had a great point. He still calls plays, and been asked
Mhm.
about it a lot. And he said, when I feel like it's not working, I'll hand it off, because it's much easier to be calling plays and hand it off than it is to hand it off and then try to take it back. Like, that's where it
Yeah.
gets much harder. And I think that may have been a nod back to Gus Malzahn and the is he calling plays, isn't he call plays, and all the back and forth. So I think it would be more enjoyable too. Like, it
Yeah.
seems like it's miserable. Like, it's absolutely miserable to do all of those things and then go out and call plays and it not work. And then you have to question yourself as a head coach when you can do so many other things really well. Like, I mean, the hires you've made on the defensive side have been incredible.
Yeah.
Obviously, the roster management and then your off the field hires as well have been incredible. So I don't really understand why anyone would want to call plays right now, then worry about NIL, then worry about
Yeah.
the portal and re-recruiting your roster and all that stuff. I don't know why anybody would want to do that. But let me ask you this, Hunter. Like,
Mhm.
let's say we limp to somehow 7-5. That would be meaning you essentially would need to win the next 4 games, or you have to win 4 out of the next 5, which would be really tough. But let's say you get to 7-5, and then Hugh says, and for this particular exercise, let's assume he's not being forced to do it. Let's say he has sort of a realization.
Mhm.
It's better off for everybody if if I go find me a DJ Durkin for offense. How do you feel if that scenario shows itself? Does that make you feel better? Are you still like it's there's too much damage to be fixed? Like, how would you feel if that scenario played out that way?
Man, I don't know. It's just at this point, Auburn just needs a win somewhere. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Just to bring I feel like the morale in the locker room isn't great at the moment. I mean, you got to factor in what's happened the past couple of weeks. With depending if it's Damari Alston, if it's the Oklahoma game with the plays that happened in that were questionable with the referees. Did we have a chance to win? Yes. Did we get it done? No. Again, that what you were talking about earlier, poor execution is basically what happened there with the play calling and et cetera. A&M didn't go great. We had a chance to win there, didn't pull it off there. Georgia, Missouri, rinse and repeat. I hate to sound like a broken record. That's just how it's been. But I, I just feel like he would benefit if he hands it off. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know
So
how
you're
else to put it, but
Yeah, so you're
yeah,
saying that if Auburn somehow gets to 7-5, and then
yes,
Hugh is like, we got to find an offensive coordinator, and I'm going to let him bring as many coaches as he wants to. So that means everybody's heads on the chopping block. Basically, I got to get out of this. He comes out and says that, and then they start a search to go find one of the better offensive coordinators out there. It's not going to be a Hugh yes man, like somebody that's come out of his, necessarily come out of his coaching tree. They're going to go get a legitimate offensive coordinator. How do you feel as a fan if that happens?
I mean, I feel pretty good if he got someone here that knew,
Would it make you want to keep him, or make you not less want him to, be shown the door, I guess, or step down or whatever?
I mean, if he, like I said earlier, if he becomes CEO and just sticks to recruiting, and then he's just he's the head coach and the face of the program, I'm fine with that. Because he can recruit. That's the fastball he still has. You know what I mean? He doesn't have the fastball being a QB whisperer and an offensive mind anymore. I just don't. I think that's gone. And I think it's blatantly obvious. And I think a lot of people agree with me. If you don't, comment down below. It's just, like I said, a win would be great. And if they do that and Hugh is willing to give up play calling, I think it's a big win. And it would keep him around and keep him employed,
Yeah. I could see that happen. I hope it doesn't. If it does happen, I hope it's not one of those we're forcing him to do it against his will, because that just doesn't work.
It wouldn't go great.
Does Auburn have an Auburn problem? I want to talk about that here in just a second. We'll be back right after this. Got another clip I want to play that I thought was a very interesting conversation. Our boys over at the McCready and Siskey show. This is Neal McCready talking about Auburn, and he thinks the Auburn's problem is Auburn.
I'm kind of picking on Auburn here a lot because I mean this sincerely. At some point, Auburn, it's your fault. You're hiring people and they're failing, and at some point, it's on you. Because I used to hear, oh, man, anybody can win at Auburn. Well, anybody's not winning. The cat that was at Boise, Harsin, he won it. He won at Boise.
Doing a good job at Cal, too.
Hugh Freeze won at Ole Miss. He won at Arkansas State. He won at Ole Miss. He won at Liberty. Where did he not win? Ladies and gentlemen, Auburn.
Hey, my man Trey in the chat, it's awesome. He said they ran out Bo Nix, too.
Yeah. I mean, you said,
don't forget him.
You said Bo Nix can't play. And then he goes to Oregon and he plays. And now he's at the Denver Broncos. Last I checked, is in the National Football League. I think it's still in the NFL. Denver Broncos. AJ. Yeah, I mean, if the first girl dumps you, maybe it's her. Maybe it's her. The second girl dumps you, you got to start thinking maybe. The third, the fourth, the fifth, at some point, it's you. Auburn, you need to look in the mirror and go, it might be time to start a new exercise plan. It might be time to do something different. Maybe this look is outdated.
Sorry for the screen record there. If you're listening on audio, it's perfect, but the video is a little bit sketchy. I got a lot to say about all of that, and I don't know that I necessarily disagree with the sentiment, but I want to get your thoughts first, Hunter.
Yeah, we can be our own worst enemy sometimes. The whole Bo Nix thing, everyone was chanting TJ, and I remember where I was sitting during that game, somebody was calling him TJ Mahomes at one point. I'm like, please stop. He's just no. Yeah. Like, it's just like I don't know if it's just like we haven't done anything in the past couple of years and it's just frustration boiling over or what, and we're trying to make these home run hires that we think are home run hires. And personally, I feel like I'm going to catch heat for saying this from some of the Auburn fans, but when we hired Hugh, it was specifically because he's beaten Alabama twice. You know what I mean? And he has that history. See, that's what I'm saying. I feel it was because the whole Harsin situation that worked out. It's like, let's get a guy who's coaching the SEC and has experience. Well, he does, but I just don't know how it's not. And my theory too here is, I really think Auburn is cursed ever since we rolled Toomer's corner when the Braves won the World Series.
That's hard to argue at this point.
Yeah, because I just remember seeing that happen. I'm thinking, oh no, because I'm a true believer, and you just roll those trees whenever Auburn has a win in whatever respective sport, especially football. So I don't know, man. I think we do have a problem, and it's ourselves, and we keep shooting ourselves in the foot as a fan base and as a team, and honestly, the board too. Just has their problems as well with trying to hire somebody with a moral compass when we need a football coach, not a pastor. You know what I mean?
Yep. So I kind of agree with you on some points, disagree with you on some others. But
Yeah.
like, I think when you look at the way Gus Malzahn played out, what seems to hold Auburn back a lot of times is the people that matter, the money people, okay,
Yeah.
are pulling in different directions. They're very few times are they aligned. I would say, back around Pat Dye's time, obviously they were aligned, and it was, we'll do whatever you need. Whatever you
Right.
need, we'll give it to you. Okay. Then you had Terry Bowden. Then you had Tommy Tuberville. And Tommy Tuberville, there was people pulling in different directions. You had Jetgate and whatnot. And then, I think if they could have pulled that off, 2004 might have never happened. And then obviously you brought in your yes man, Gene Chizik. And obviously it paid off in a national championship, but it was not a really good hire there. Then you go and, so on and so forth. Gus Malzahn, should we fire him? Should we not? Should we extend him? Should we not? Don't call plays, don't call plays. And then everybody's fighting, and you end up with a Brian Harsin, which was a disaster. So I can totally get like everybody's issue when you look at the Auburn has an Auburn problem. The only thing that I hope doesn't happen, this is what I hope doesn't happen. I think they did the right thing as far as the way they've gone about things with Hugh Freeze. I love the way that they've gone. I'm not necessarily saying the hire. I still like the hire. It just didn't. It's not working out.
Right.
But what they've done is they took the idea that they had back when they had Pat Dye, and it's been essentially everybody pulling in the exact same direction. Hugh Freeze has had the most alignment of anybody all the way back to Pat Dye, like of anybody from then till now. So the only thing I hope doesn't happen is if they happen to move on, they don't change that mindset. If you go, if it's DJ Durkin, if you go to John Summerall, if you hire Kenny Dillingham, if you hire whoever, I hope it's okay. Look, let's don't turn our nose up at how we handled things prior. Let's look at that roster we were able to help put together. Just for whatever reason, and you saw the results on the defensive side, just for whatever reason, the offense just didn't work out. It just wasn't a good situation. That's the thing. Auburn, to me, has had an Auburn problem all the way up until this particular hire. And to me, this one is just, I cannot understand why it hasn't worked out with Hugh the way it has. Like, I can't understand how Auburn is where it is with him, but I don't think this one was an Auburn thing. I think they actually got it right this time as far as uniting themselves on the back end. You just haven't seen the results on the field, and I'm so scared that they're going to start. Everybody's going to start splitting again, and then you're going to be right back to square one.
Yeah, I want to clarify too. Like, I agree with you that I think the hire was great. I was excited when they announced that they hired Hugh Freeze because I know how good of a recruiter he can be.
Yeah.
And it showed. I mean, we have good recruiting classes. It's just not translating on the field, especially on offense. I think our defense is fine, and our defense is going to be fine as long as we can keep DJ Durkin around. No matter what happens, keep DJ safe at all costs. You know, like give him a Secret Service detail, give him whatever he wants. You know what I mean? Like get him a house at Lake Martin. Don't care where it at Wicker Point. You know what I mean? Just do something. Because he's been honestly the quote unquote savior on the reason we're in half of the games that we're in. Near the end, because our defense is playing their tails off, and our offense doesn't really give them enough time to rest, and that's where the wheels start to come off. So,
yeah, it's tricky, man. I can't. I'm anxious to see how this thing plays out, and if it does go to where they make a change, I just hope that they can all be on the same page again, because I really think that's the only way Auburn can be successful is if that's the case. Maybe let somebody else, give John Cohen full reign to go hire a coach, and then you just get behind them. You just get behind the coach and give them however long they need. I think Hugh's had plenty of time, in my opinion. So give them that same amount of leeway to go do what they got to do, and then see what happens.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
All right, we're talking a lot about future, but let's talk about right now because we got a game tomorrow.
Yeah,
bright and early. Auburn taking on the Razorbacks. The
rainy
line
too.
What's that? Should be
Especially rainy too. Yeah,
which I actually think benefits us.
it does.
Thinking about that matchup. How are you feeling about it? I think the line is like a pick 'em almost. It's like maybe there's some that's like a point or a point and a half to Arkansas. There's some that's less. How do you feel about the game tomorrow?
Man, like, I'll be real. I think our defense is going to be, like we were talking, you've had me on before talking about X factors. My X factor for this game is our whole defense and DJ Durkin. I think they're going to be the reason why we win this game. If we win it, I think just with our offensive woes right now, the fact that we're still not clicking and we're, in week 9 now, what is this, week 9 or 10? It just has me worried that we're not going to be able to, I don't know, communicate well to our receivers to, you know what I mean? I don't know. If we can run the ball, which, like I said, it's going to be raining. I don't think we're going to be doing a lot of passing anyway. I think it's going to be a lot of, Jackson Arnold design runs, and hopefully, Hugh, if you're watching this, hand the ball off to Jeremiah Cobb, please. You have him in the backfield for a reason. Use him.
Yeah. It worked well last week.
Yeah. I mean, if you can just capitalize on the run game, they have this in the bag. Now, if they don't prepare a script for the second half, then we're going to be looking at the, down the same barrel that we were with the Georgia and the Missouri game. And yes, everyone's like, well, we would have had a chance if I don't care what happened with Ken Williamson. We had a chance to win the game in the Georgia game and Missouri. Yeah, so it's
couldn't get it done.
Yeah, we couldn't get it done, and they're going to have to get it done. But like I said, I think the defense is going to be the reason. If we end up pulling out a win in Arkansas, that's who it's going to be, is the defense.
Yep. I'll say this. I agree with you a lot. I think the defense, obviously, if they can keep Arkansas to somewhere around like they've been, 21 to 24 points like they have the last several teams, there is no excuse for Auburn not to win this game.
Mm-hmm.
Arkansas has in just SEC, as far as SEC defensive standings goes, they're 15th in passing defense.
Mm-hmm.
They are dead last in rushing defense. They're giving up almost 200 yards a game, 188 yards a game, and they're dead last in scoring defense as well. So essentially, they're the worst defense in the conference.
Yeah.
So if your offense can't make it happen, now look, I understand weather could be an issue, and if we'll see how that plays out. And if it is, obviously you got to take that into consideration. But bottom line, this is a very, very bad defense. And if your offense can't work versus this defense, it cannot work. Period.
Right.
Like there is nothing. They don't even rush the passer well. Like they're towards the bottom of the league in sacks. So they can't rush the passer, they can't stop the run, and they can't stop the pass. What could go wrong?
Right. Yeah.
You cannot. You got to score 35 to 40 points if barring it's a storm or whatever, or it's just a really, really bad conditions. I think they actually just switched back to natural turf. So I've never played on I've never played on artificial, but it seems like that's much more slippery.
It's gonna be a gross game. I'm gonna factor in a lot of Jackson Arnold slips and receivers slipping, and who knows what'll happen. But I kind of, with what you just said, with Arkansas not being exactly keen to rush the passer that much, this will be a good, kind of in-game, if you will, practice for Kel Ellis, who's stepping in for Connor Lew, with this whole ACL tear. I think it'll be a good test for him to see, what he can and can't do.
For sure.
He should be in high school, and they were showing him on TV, and I'm like, this dude's big as a house. You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens. I'm excited. I'm excited for every Auburn game. I don't know how I keep going back to the love that I have for my team when they keep ripping my heart out every week. But we're fans, so that's what we do.
Yeah, I'm with you. It just feels like you can't lose this game. And when I say can't, I mean like it feels like you physically can't lose this game unless you completely choke, unless you completely gag.
Mhm.
Like there's the matchup is just so good in my opinion. I've been scared with the whole Taylon Green thing, but like the more we do really well with running quarterbacks, the more and more I look at this defense and what people have done to them. You have to completely blow it to lose this game. And if that were to happen, and if that happens, there's no telling what is going to happen on Sunday afterwards. Like if you blow this one, it'll be a nightmare.
It'll be a media blitz on Sunday. Oh my goodness. Oh man. Hopefully they can pull it out. I mean, a score. Man, I love when you put me on the spot on scores. I mean, with Bobby Petrino being, their interim now, he's not afraid to put up a lot of points, and he's old school. He'll run up the score if they do. But with it being kind of messy and everything, I see Auburn coming up short, like 14-10. I just think it's going to be a low scoring game because of the weather. That's my prediction.
Sure? What if the weather's just like halfway okay, like just okay?
I mean, there's been pictures of the radar, but if it's halfway okay, I like Auburn in it. With what you said based on their defense, but they got to show me something. The offense especially has got to show me something. The defense I think is going to be fine, and they show up every game, work, play their tails off. I'm not worried about that. It's the offense. Can we move the ball consistently and not have these opening drives where we punch teams in the mouth and then turn around and be like, we're not going to play offense anymore. Because that's what it feels like, at least in the second half. So hopefully we can get it together, but we'll see. Like you said, it's kind of a toss-up, but I'm going with Arkansas on this one, but we'll see.
I think it's going to be high 20s. That's what I think. I think it'll be a close game somewhere in the high 20s. We'll see. I don't know who wins. Hopefully it's Auburn.
I'm hoping my reverse jinx works. We'll see.
There you go. Hey, sometimes you got to change it up.
Sometimes you got to take one for the team,
Exactly.
I'll take the heat.
There you go. Hunter, tell everybody what all you got going on. You got a lot of stuff going on, and tell them how they can find you.
Yes, we do. Yeah. So I'm helping Dad now with his main podcast, Bubba on the Lake. You can find that on YouTube, Bubba on the Lake, or anywhere you get your podcast. I'm co-hosting a podcast with him as well as a family friend of ours, Nathan Hall, called the Tailgate Show. You can find that as well on YouTube. We also have an Instagram page, Facebook page, as well as an X page, and we'll do some live tweeting during some games. Like to have fun with everybody in our community. So
awesome.
Just look us up wherever you get your podcast. You can find us there, and we'd love to have you.
Awesome, man. It's great stuff. I had fun when I came on. It's a blast.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Good stuff, guys. I really appreciate you listening. We're gonna have the live stream tomorrow. Hunter, make sure if you're not busy, jump on and let's have some fun.
Oh yeah, always. Yeah.
It's a blast. Those are growing like every single week, and they're an absolute blast.
They're so much fun, and we can scream, cry, laugh, and throw up all together.
There you go. It's like therapy for everybody. So make sure you're tuning in tomorrow. It's early. So get up, drink a Bloody Mary, and let's give them hell.
Let's kick it.
Guys, thanks for listening. We'll be back again soon. It's another episode of the Top Button Podcast. Stay buttoned.
Thanks for listening, and drive home safely.